Now let us move on about the ICT literacy. So, ICT literacy is using digital technology, communication tools, and or networks to access, manage, integrate, evaluate, and create information in order to function in a knowledge society. So, when we say ICT literacy, it is divide how the ability of students use this digital technology. Next, the importance of ICT literacy. Literacy with ICT is about critical and creative thinking, digital citizenship, and knowing how to use technology safe, healthily, responsibly, and ethically to meet our needs. So, when ICT is integrated into lessons, students become more engaged in their work. This is because technology provides different opportunities to make it more fun and enjoyable in terms of teaching the same things in different ways. Next is instructional design models. When we say instructional design models, it is provide guidelines to organize and appropriate pedagogical scenarios to achieve instructional goals. So, when we say instructional dance, ito yung disenyo ng pagtuturo na maaaring tukuyin bilang ang kasanayan sa paggawa ng mga karanasan sa pagtuturo ay makapadali at mapag-aaralan ng pinakamabisa. So now let us move on about Gagney's 9 events of instructions. So in 1965, Robert Gagney proposed a series of events that are associated with and address the mental conditions for learning. So number one, gain attention of the students. Ensure the learners are ready to learn and participate in activities by presenting a stimulus to capture their attention. So, gain attention of the students. No educator on earth can teach a subject without first getting the students' attention. Siyempre, una sa lahat, bago ka magturo, kinakailangan mo munang sa'yo ang attention ng inyong mga estudyante, sa'yo nakafocus. And next is number 2, inform students of the objectives. Inform students of the objectives or outcomes for the course and individual lessons to help them understand what they are expected to learn and do. Provide objectives before instruction begins. So, when giving speeches, we're often told to tell them what you're going to tell them. The idea holds true here as well. Once we have their attention, we want to quickly educate the students about what they should expect to learn during the lesson. And this further primes them and gets them ready to receive information and predict what they'll need to comprehend and deliver at the end. Stimulate recall of prior learning. Help students make sense of new information by relating it to something they already know or something they have already experienced. So, after you gotten their attention and explained the lesson's objective, it's time to prime them even further and draw out their prior learned knowledge of the given topic. Having students remember what they know provides a refresher, so they're ready to add the foundation via scaffolding techniques. Next is present the content. Use strategies to present and cue lesson content to provide more effective instructions. Organize and group content in meaningful ways and provide explanations after demonstrations. Now that you have told the students what you're going to do, tell them that you gotten them to engage with the subject matter. It's time to present the lesson material and scaffold upon that prior knowledge base. Ideally, this presentation stage should be carefully planned out but with enough flexibility to allow for spontaneous discourse. Teachers should strive to offer material using various delivery methods such as audiovisual media, lectures, physical demonstrations when applicable, and hands on practice whenever this is possible. Number 5. Provide learning guidance. Advise students of strategies to aid them in learning content and of resources available. In other words, help students learn how to learn. So, here in number 5, provide learning guidance. Before and during the content presentation, it is beneficial to provide students with examples of suitable outcomes. This way, there is no confusion about what will considered acceptable versus what falls outside the range. For instance, if you ask them to write an essay, it's handy to offer them a sample what a perfect essay would look like the purpose of lesson. Giving an example what not to do is an excellent way to offer contrast so they can avoid making mistakes. Number 6. Illicit performance or practice. Have students apply what they have learned to reinforce new skills and knowledge and to confirm correct understanding of course concepts. So, this is known as eliciting the performance. Giving them the chance to show you that they did their job and learned what it taught what you taught. It is critical step because it allows educators to gauge their success and let the student practice and thereby reinforce their knowledge. Provide feedback. Provide time feedback of students' performance to assess and facilitate learning and allow students to identify gaps in understanding before it is too late. So, there are a few unique types of feedback with specific purposes. There are confirmatory feedback, evaluative feedback, remedial feedback, and also descriptive or analytic feedback. Confirmatory feedback informs the student whether or not they are complying with guidance on how to complete an assignment without exploring how well they did or what they might need to work on. No- Evaluative feedback lets the students know the current appraisal of their assignments quality without getting into details about how they might do better. Next, remedial feedback is a type of feedback designed to adjust a student's line of thinking or course of action so they can come to find an answer on their own without telling them the answer directly. Last, descriptive or analytic feedback is explicitly designed to boost students' performance by offering additional assistance, including tips or action steps to take. Number 8. Assess performance. Test whether the expected learning outcomes have been achieved on previously stated course objectives. So, assessment techniques include giving oral quizzes or offering pre and post lesson quizzes to measure learning efficacy. No matter which method are used, they should be objective, logical, and based on pre established criteria outlined in rubrics when practical. Number 9. Enhance retention and transfer. Help learners retain more information by providing them opportunities to connect course concepts to potential real world applications. So, once teachers have assessed the above step effectiveness, it's time to build them upon increased retention and transfer. Here, retention implies the student's ability to internalize, then remember what they have learned where, whereas a transfer describes their capacity to apply the knowledge and skills in the real world.